Alright, what is up boys and girls, welcome back to another video. As always, thank you very much for joining me. I am Crypto Maximalist. Please do like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Really helps out the channel. All those things are really useful and really help out the channel for growing. Really appreciate you getting involved. So as we can see then, I am doing a video today, as you can probably guess by the title, about basically quite a few people have been asking me how I trade and also just how I'm doing so well in the markets at the minute. And really I wanted to kind of boil it down into one, just make it as simple as possible to kind of understand what I'm doing. So I'm not really using any one strategy, I'm kind of just using a intuition based approach. I don't know if anyone knows of a trader who has a channel on YouTube called Nick Sean, but I've been watching his videos for 1 or 2 years now, and I feel like his strategy has really kind of started to click with me recently, where basically in trading you can't really have one strategy that works all the time for a long period of time. In my opinion, you kind of have to adapt to the markets and also just use your intuition to kind of read kind of patterns and things that you see over and over again, because eventually when you look at charts for long enough you start to have pattern recognition, obviously. But these kind of pattern recognition trading strategies, they don't really seem to work long term for me. And eventually I just got to the point where I was like, I need to figure out where I'm going wrong and basically how to make money in these markets, because people are obviously making money all the time. Like if you just bought here and sold here, you'd make absolutely insane profits. But it's really difficult to do this sometimes. And for me, basically I've tried so many strategies, as everyone does, and you always get that little buzz when you find a new strategy and you're like, oh, this is the one, this is like the golden key that's going to make me like billions of dollars, because I can just make 10% a month and then compound it, and then over like 10 years I'll make like literally $10 billion and I'll be super successful. But obviously that never happens, right? Like there's like literally probably one person in the entire world who's actually done that, because it's extremely difficult to do these things consistently and profitably for long periods of time, because you're always going to go through winning and losing streaks, as is absolutely, basically this is guaranteed in trading, in my opinion. It's very easy to go through losing streaks and then get disillusioned and then not take trades that you probably would have done, and then obviously miss out on profits that would have brought you back to break even or maybe even profitable. Trading is all about managing emotions, from pretty much what I've gathered. And as we can see on this chart here, I've got this example on Bitcoin because I thought it was a good example of basically the way that I am kind of thinking about trading or approaching trading recently. And that's basically that. We're just looking at this chart here. Obviously we had this previous range that was something like this. As you can see here, we've been in this uptrend for Bitcoin for some time, massive moves to the upside, back testing into some Fibonacci levels. I've got my Fibonacci because I find these levels quite interesting and useful, and they do tend to work quite well in crypto, so I do like to have them there just to look at them. But you can see here, obviously, if I just make sure this is lined up properly, my Bitcoin Fibonacci pulled from the all-time high down to that swing low of the bear market. You can see we made our way up through these Fibonacci levels. They're sometimes support and resistance, sometimes not. You can see also back testing this 100 moving average on the way up, and then we got up to this all-time high area. We came up and pushed for a new all-time high. We got to 74k, bit of a retracement. We put in a range, as you can see, which I drew in. We came down and we stole some liquidity down here, and I'm thinking, okay, we're starting to look like maybe we're going to come back to the downside. And then we come back inside the range again, maybe a little bit of a inverse head and shoulders. We come back up to the top of the range, and then we come down to this level again, and we start to push down below, and we close below this level here. And I'm thinking, we've been going sideways for ages. Everyone's really bearish, everyone's really negative. The sentiment in the market is that Bitcoin's just going to collapse to the downside. And then you start to see this liquidity below this range low. Obviously we've got this swing here, but we came back inside, back tested and bounced. This time we came down, we broke out, but then we swung to the downside. We closed below this level here, and then we're chopping around at this low, and I'm thinking, everyone thinks that we're breaking down. What's happening here is that we're doing this, where we're breaking down from this level, this support level, right? Breaking down here, we've got the big bearish engulfing daily candle. Everyone's thinking we're going down. Pretty much everyone. The shorts are piling up. The open interest for shorts is absolutely massive. Everyone's just piling shorts up here like this. there's huge amounts of shorts because everyone's thinking we're going to bounce and then they're sell and then they'll take profit down here somewhere at like a key level, right? And I'm sat in the market, I'm thinking we've been going down for like a month straight, and this is Bitcoin in a bull market. And I'm just thinking, in terms of sentiment, it does really feel like, in my opinion, because this is something you have to remember, generally speaking, when things are super euphoric in crypto, that's when they pull back. And when things are super bearish and super negative in crypto, that's when they bounce. I remember it so cleanly back here in the bear market. We're in 2022, right? February. We're in like November 2022. My birthday's in November. And I remember thinking on my birthday, wow, another huge bearish, near my birthday, sorry, I should say. My birthday isn't the 8th of November, just so you know. Another huge bearish red candle for Bitcoin. We come down to a swing low of 16k, and I'm sat there and I'm going, wow, this is a buy. It has to be, right? Because just look at how overextended this market is. It's just in a huge, massive downtrend. Absolutely ridiculous downtrend. The weekly chart will show you even better, more succinctly, what I'm talking about here. Massive, massive, huge downtrend. Another huge bearish candle here. And I'm just thinking, like, you can see the bullish divergences on the RSI on the weekly. And the sentiment is absolutely hell. Everyone is going, Bitcoin's dead, it's a scam, it's never coming back, just like they always do. Just like when Bitcoin was down here at 4k when the COVID crash happened, and then wow, we basically got a, what was it, 15x on Bitcoin. And you can see here, the sentiment's rock bottom, and all of a sudden, the price starts going up. The shorts are getting liquidated. We're in a bull trade. We're in a bullish uptrend. All of a sudden, you can see obviously making lower lows and lower highs. All of a sudden, we break up. We make a high high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. All of a sudden, sentiment is completely flipped, and then we're moving up, and it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Right? But this is why I took this trade. Coming back to my point, I know I'm making a bit of a meal of this, but I'm getting around to my point, which is emotions are so. I find that emotions in crypto are incredibly useful, but it's about managing them in the correct way, and also not getting drawn into the emotions of, you know, the sentiment of the whole market. You can see what happened here, in my opinion. If you look at it objectively, what's happening is we've had a push down below here to grab some liquidity. We're coming down here again, the second push to grab some liquidity after so long going sideways. Everyone's bored. Everyone's like, oh my god, Bitcoin's never going to go up, it's just going to go down, it's going to have a retracement, it can't make a new high. Everyone's freaking out. And then all of a sudden we come down, and then we get that big fat tasty liquidity steal, big bearish engulfing candle. Everyone thinks we're at least going down to below 50k, and the bull market's going to be prolonged, delayed for like 5 years because of it, and all this stuff. And you just think, I just thought, just look objectively, we're getting really, really oversold. This market has been going down for a month straight. Bitcoin is in a bull market. Objectively, in my opinion, I thought that this was more of a buy than a sell. So I'm not going to sell the bottom, am I? I'm going to buy the bottom. Because selling the bottom and buying the top, that's how you get wrecked in every market, including crypto, especially crypto. And you can see here, basically what happened was, if we look at the hourly time frame, because I think I was looking at the hourly when I took the entry itself, you can see here, obviously massive, massive downtrend. We come up, we actually potentially break structure, but it was actually just a back test of that higher level. We come down, we smash all the way through our support. We come back up, we back test. We come down and we make a slightly higher low or an equal low. And I'm thinking, okay. And then we bounce again back up to this resistance. And everyone's thinking, oh yeah, they're just piling sells on up here, because they're thinking, we obviously just broke down from the big range, right? And we're going to bounce back up, bounce back down and continue down. But I'm just thinking, this massive W double bottom, we're really, really, really oversold for so many days in a row. Is it more likely that we're going to continue down, or that we're going to bounce in a bull market? And in my opinion, I just felt, based on intuition and experience of just looking at the charts for so long, that we were going to bounce. So I took a long, literally here. This is exactly where I took it, where we came back into this area again. So we got a huge push, we bounced back up, higher low, we bounced back up higher. This area here, when I saw this wick close here, and I was thinking, back testing into the imbalance area of liquidity or smart money concepts, whatever. Basically, I just felt, based on intuition, we're not going to push any lower. We've been going down for too long. So I took the long here and basically zero drawdown the entire trade since then. Bounced to the upside, chopped sideways, broke through all these levels of structure. As you can see, let me get back to my chart. As you can see here, took my long here, we bounced back up. We back tested here, but then we broke out of this level of resistance as well, which I felt was quite an important level because that was the downtrend resistance that we broke, but then we came back inside of, back outside of again, and then back tested. You can see we're looking like potentially inverse head and shoulders, all this stuff, but basically in a nutshell, I just felt we were going down for too long, and it was more of a buy than a sell. And at that moment, I thought, this is an area where everyone will sell. I'm going to buy because I think that Bitcoin's going to go up. Based on, we're in a bull market, we're grabbing liquidity, and look at all these bullish candles that we've seen recently at lows, massive huge candles, and then you can see here we ripped all the way up through resistance, change of market structure on the daily, we broke the downtrend, we back tested, we made a new high, we back tested, we made a new high, and now we're just kind of grinding up towards the top of the range again. But that's basically, I don't know if I'm articulating myself well, so let me know down in the comments if you are getting what I'm getting and pushing for here. But ultimately, I think that Bitcoin, in that moment, I just felt that it would go up. And it's not based on just a whim. It's based on, basically, I like to trade markets. This is the crux of my strategy and what I'm trying to get at. I like to trade markets that are, you know, they're more high probability trades, basically. And I think with Bitcoin going up for as long as it has and then going sideways for as long as it did in a bull market for Bitcoin, once we come down and grab that liquidity, I just felt like this would bounce back up rather than running down like most people did. And that's exactly what happened. And I think it's just purely based on the fact that we basically were going down for way too long here and sideways for way too long. So I didn't really think that there would be much desire for people to continue selling down there, and they didn't. And we got that big liquidity grab reversal short squeeze that happened. And it happens all the time with Bitcoin, doesn't it? Everyone always goes, oh my god, we've come down and it's the end, and then all of a sudden it bounces back up, and it happens a lot. Just like I remember when we were back here in this range, anywhere from like 25 to 30k. We're coming up, we're back test, we're putting in a range like this, and everyone's just getting bored and thinking, oh, it's just a dead cat bounce for Bitcoin. People start like piling on all the shorts because we're closing below the 100 moving average here, but then all of a sudden, one day we just rip through the whole range and make a new high and then grind to the upside and then continue up and then just keep going up and up and up. And obviously, there are times where my intuition will probably be wrong, but that's why you just have good risk management when you're trading. But overall, I just felt like this was a good trade. And you can see I've got all my different cryptos here, some of the ones that I've been holding, some of the ones that I'm looking at. Veracity here, exactly the same concept. Basically, this market just way too overextended to the downside. Just basically just dropped to support, ripped through support, still going down, 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 months of going down. At some point you just have to go, this is definitely a buy, because there's no way that it's going to keep going down anymore, in my opinion. Obviously there are times where this kind of thesis will be wrong and things will just continue to go down, but there are higher probability trades than just buying like here and just hoping it goes up, right? Like buying here was obviously potentially a good trade because it's at a Fibonacci level support, which is how it bounced multiple times. But obviously people would have been stopped out of this because of the extreme overextended market. But you have to think after that, we're getting really oversold on our RSI. And historically, you can see every time that we've got down towards this level of crazy oversold, we have had a bounce to the upside overall. I could easily see this just playing out back up into the range at the range low as well. Overall, these are the kinds of things that I look for, just these high probability trades. VeChain was exactly the same concept. Altcoin market completely slaughtered, continuing to go down, selling off. Eventually, it's going to bounce, right? Because it's not going to go down forever. Especially that we're in a bull market, and you can see we've had some previous bullish structure. For VeChain, this one was slightly different because we did have quite a deviation down into my towards my stop loss, but we did pivot back up and into profit right now. As you can see, this looks good for continuation in my opinion. As you can see, we broke the local structure. If we can backtest here, make a new high, we'll probably head up to my take profit. But again, just an overextended market, months of selling off. I just felt like we were just getting too oversold, and eventually these things are going to revert round. Really oversold on the RSI. Just felt like it was more of a high probability trade than selling at the bottom. Buying near the bottom was a good idea. Solana was another perfect example. Dropping sideways for ages once we came back down and touched this area of support again and again and again and again and again. And we're in a bull market. I just felt that this would be an area that we would bounce just based on looking at this chart's intuition. Just the fact that I felt like after going sideways for so long, eventually Solana's going to go up and make a new all-time high, because I just believe the network effect and the adoption is just too ridiculous. So where am I going to enter? Am I going to enter a long up here when it's like trying to break the high? Now I'm going to wait for a pullback into an area where I think it's more likely probability-wise that we're going to bounce, and more likely probability-wise that it's going to go up rather than down if I'm looking for longs. You can see here we got quite oversold on our RSI, and I was just thinking, this is looking pretty tasty now. I'll put a sell or a buy order on this level. We tapped in, and then pretty much zero drawdown since then. Obviously we came down, we got this lovely W double bottom, but you can see the bullish divergences here. But it doesn't even matter. The analysis doesn't even matter. It's the principle of it that matters, in my opinion. And the principle is that when you're looking at this chart, I'm thinking, if I'm going to go long, I need a pullback. That's basically it. And I think the more that you pull back, especially when you're in markets that overall are probably going to be heading up in the next year or two, like crypto in terms of cycles, you're setting yourself up for a higher probability trade than just longing the top. Like going, oh my god, it's pumping, and then longing the top, and then you'll get stopped out. And then you'll go, oh, and then you'll wait, and then you'll go, oh, it's going up again, and then you'll long here, and then you get stopped out. And then you get annoyed because you're like, why am I always getting stopped out? Everyone's making money, I'm not making money, blah, blah, blah. This is it. This is basically my thesis surrounding this. So hope you enjoyed this, hope it was useful. As I said, please do like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are in the description. Go in the description down below and sign up to some of the tasty bonuses I've got for you there. I promise you won't regret them, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.